The latest modern audience game on the block isn't doing super great right now. I know that it's just a demo, and there are a lot of people who wait till the full release in order to experience a game for a first time. But when they claim to have over 100,000 wish lists and only 100 people show up, yeah, they're clearly lying and deserve to get called out on it. But 1348X Voto is doing terribly. They are not taking the situation extremely positively, as the comments have been locked down on their YouTube trailer, and really everything is a disaster for this experience. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, not every single game needs to be a major success. Not every single game needs to sell 100,000 copies or have a million players in game in order to be deemed a positive time for the developers, a positive time for the company, or just a positive experience in general. But when you start a bit of a war on social media and you attack your fellow developers because, ooh, they have opinions that you don't agree with, then you tell people to wishlist this game and put it on their modern agenda, and you have millions and millions of interactions online, and the best you can muster is 100 for your demo. That is a really bad look. Now, previously, they had claimed to have had 100,000 wish lists. I had called BS on that from the moment they said it, because I know for a fact that Knight's Path had been over 130,000 by that point, and they were at roughly position 300, and Xvoto was at roughly position like 550. I want to say I had talked about it in another video with the exact numbers, but there was a very large discrepancy there, and 1348 X Voto's team was clearly lying. They just wanted to make it seem like they were doing better than they actually are. And now that the demo is out, it is not looking like the modern audience showed up yet again. I know a lot of people say, oh my gosh, this is the extent of the modern audience. While I do think in some cases it is funny and true, I don't think that that's the case here. Clearly, there are a lot of outrage mobs on social media. There are a lot of people online who fall into the category of the modern audience who bitch and moan and groan and want to complain. And occasionally, games like this do good, but this isn't going to be one of them. The all-time peak 2 days ago was 122, and it's got 92 players in game at this moment on a Sunday afternoon. And the full game releases in 2 weeks. That means that they should be getting tons of people who plan to buy it in this experience. It's a short demo, so there must be a lot of people, right, who are going to download it surely. No, that is not the case. And I had streamed this. It was horrendous. It was buggy. The visuals were terrible. There was lots of pop-in and texture issues. The gameplay itself is just really bad. I don't know how they expected this to go over well, but they did. And I think that it looks pretty bad for them that they have been silent on social media for the most part. A couple of days ago, yes, they did post about how they had the team come together and they edited all of these clips together, and they said go deeper behind the scenes with the full video featuring the two lead voice actresses, and they did post about the demo, but that was it. That was already days and days ago. You are 2 weeks out from release and you are not hammering your marketing on social media. That is really, really strange, in my opinion. If I was launching a game, you would hear about it 5 times a day if that was the case. But, well, for them, I suppose they are just feeling so confident and so cocky that they don't need to market it. Or maybe they just don't want people paying attention to their game. Maybe they figure, ooh, the modern audience will show up. That's obviously not going to happen, given the Access Media was covering your game pretty heavily. You were getting a lot of attention for it several weeks ago, and 100 is the best you can muster. But when you actually start looking at their forums and the YouTube behind the scenes upload, it is looking like they are not taking the situation extremely positively, as they are locking down threads, silencing people. They were already doing that weeks ago when they started the controversy, but it's only gotten worse. So here's the 1348X Voto behind the scenes upload on the official PlayStation account. 16.8 million subscribers and only 27,000 views in 3 days. It is sitting at 1,000 likes to 3.4k dislikes, so that is quite the discrepancy. But this right here is the number one issue that I have with this situation. As you can see, they have decided to turn the comments off. So they do not want people discussing this game. They don't want people having conversations about what they like or what they dislike about this game. Also highlighted by the fact that they are locking down threads on the Steam discussions forum where people are just voicing what they like or dislike in games, and with characters, and the developers are trying to own the chuds and make a point. This person had made a post saying the issue is not the female fact. I am going to be neutral here and ignore the fact that the game claims to be historically accurate or the team tries to paint haters as trolls. I'm not going to read this entire post, but they're basically saying that they want female characters in games that make sense. They want female characters in games that fit their roles and where it's not a traditionally male-filled role, but they put a woman in place in sake of diversity, and the developer goes, "Thank you for sharing your opinion. I hope you feel better after that." So such a slap in the face, such a backhanded statement like, "Oh, I'm glad you took to our forums and voiced your opinion." Yeah, that's what the forums are for, is so people can communicate with the development team. But they say, "I would just like to correct you on one point. The game is not intended to be historically accurate. We are talking about a work of fiction inspired by a historical period." I would like to refer you all back to the behind the scenes video for a moment, just so you can hear the terminology that the lead voice actresses use.
What I will say about Ice's bowl cut is, I think it's quite hot and historically accurate. Historically accurate.
You don't go into interviews or posts or any sort of marketing material and boast about historical accuracy in one case and then go on to say, well, who cares about historical accuracy? It's like the argument these leftists use in regards to realism. They will say things like, "Oh, Lara Croft can't have big boobs in the live action adaptation or the new video game because of realism. Oh, if you have big breasts, you can't squeeze into these rock crevices easily. Of course, a smaller chested woman would be the more realistic choice for a Tomb Raider." But then they ignore the fact that she's fucking fighting dinosaurs. Okay, so historical accuracy only counts in one case and really only matters in one case to the ex-Voto team, but not in other cases, especially when they can use this as a talking point in a argument that they are having with a potential customer. I think that that is so freaking funny and just goes to show how little they actually respect gamers and the people they want swiping their credit card on this experience. But again, that poster wasn't being rude, wasn't attacking, was just voicing their opinion. Same goes with this thread. This person says this game is going to be awesome. The art style and design are really impressive for a game made by just a few people. The voice acting already sounds superb, and I'm probably going to wind up buying a Steam copy and a physical one. And then you start scrolling down. The developer says thank you. One single person says, "I hope they fail hard. The woke agenda stuff is so 2020. Not only did they ban this poster, but they locked this thread. Why the hell would you silence your legitimate customers? Why would you sit here and try to not have positive discussions on your forums surrounding your game? They are just going insane with the ban hammer right now. They do not actually care about legitimate discussions, and I think we already knew that that was the case, but they are going insane right now. So, those are just a few different examples. When you really start scrolling down the Steam forums, you can see a few different threads actually being locked. As I'm highlighting here, there are a lot of different threads being left, a lot of different people discussing this game, what they like about it, what they don't like about it. Either way, this looks abysmal for 1348 X Voto. They've got 122 all-time peak on the demo. They've gone silent on social media. They are locking down threads and banning people on the Steam discussions forum. The trailer upload on the 17 million subscriber PlayStation account has like 30,000 views, is getting negatively ratioed, and they've locked down the comments. And really, all of this just looks abysmal for this new modern audience game. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.